Orange chicken is, I think, my soulmate.
When did I become such a blackie?
Rain and petals eavesdrop. I used the wrong word.
You are a disrespectful piece of...
Hey girls, welcome to another Amberlynn video. This video is going to be a bit different. This is a catch-up video covering important or entertaining moments in Amber's previous 5 videos. Let me know if you enjoy this format. If you enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. Also, there is a Discord server linked in the description and pinned comment if you'd like to come chat or hang out. Feel free to comment your thoughts below. I respond to all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get into the video. So for this video, she shows us her routine, shows us some stuff she bought, eats food, does some chores. She answers some questions, which I'll give some commentary for.
What's the most difficult part of this move? Especially the first 3 minutes of waking up, because I'm just hit with this wave of just heartbreak, depression, loneliness, the worst feelings you can feel, and it's heavy. It's like mourning every single day.
She's so dramatic. She moved from one apartment into a similar apartment. The difference now is she doesn't have a girlfriend to use for everything.
Does going to bingo and the casino feel addictive to you? No, not at all. If I'm being honest, bingo is kind of boring, and I could never go to a casino for the rest of my life and totally be fine. So things like gambling, for me, it's not an addictive thing for me at all. So we don't have to worry about that.
Only time will tell. I like how she mentioned gambling, but not alcohol.
Are you looking for a girlfriend right now? No, I want to be single. I don't want to be in a relationship. There is some love life drama behind the scenes that I'm not going to talk about. Things that I do deal with on a day-to-day basis, which could probably seem confusing now that I've even brought it up.
Funny how she keeps making cryptic posts about how she's in love and can't stop talking about Wifey. We'll catch up in a minute.
Do you have any struggles living alone? I think my main struggle and the hardest part has just been waking up alone and having to remind myself every day, 50 First Dates, that movie with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler, which I love. I just feel like every day I wake up, I have to remind myself that I'm not waking up to the person I was with, to the person I loved. I'm not waking up to hug them or see them or laugh with them. That's just been the hardest part.
The fuck? Did she really just compare waking up without a girlfriend to having traumatic damage that you can't control that makes you forget everything that happened the previous day? Girl, chill with the dramatics. Next, she's gonna compare having to leave Wifey to Rose having to leave Jack to survive the sinking Titanic. Moving on to catch up on the next video. This video. She eats a pickle, complains about the pickle.
Oh, she is sour.
She finally goes somewhere interesting, the science museum. She gives us this beautiful little shot. She just shows us a bunch of stuff. Kinda cool, but come on guys. Don't have your first experience of a science museum through Amber. She watched Barbie, she went to church.
And by the way, church was actually so much fun. It was nothing like I expected. I have never been to a church like that. Once I started getting into the more I love Jesus, I love God. Once it became that, I did feel a certain type of energy and I ended up crying.
I actually share similar opinions with her about church and religion. I'm not religious, but going to church will make me cry. She does a boring Target haul, and let's go to the next video. Here we have a Q&A video. I'll give commentary on interesting answers.
Why are you suddenly no longer complaining about any of your multiple health issues that were always causing you to be set back, or your mental health problems that you felt the need to feel to use as a crutch every day, suddenly healed from everything? But before I answer that, I just want to say that's really sad that when people are vocal about their mental health or physical stuff, that people say, oh, you're using that as a crutch. When it's things are too late or things have gone too far or you are too far gone, people are like, oh, you should have spoke up, you should have said something. And it's I am very much that person that I do speak up, I do say something. But I've noticed I have taken a lot of steps back in that regard because I am feeling constantly judged. I am feeling like people think that I do use it as a crutch or an excuse. So I think that's the reason why that I'm not talking about those things anymore, because even in this person's question, they said why are you no longer complaining about these things? I never feel like I'm coming from a complaining spot.
The reason people say she's complaining is because she's the one that caused herself to get to that point, but she'll look for anything else to blame. And her quote-unquote struggles aren't talked about until she needs an excuse for why she's not on track or why she's treating people like shit.
Have you noticed an improvement in your health overall? Yeah, I do notice improvement in my health, and I'm gonna come from my stamina area type deal type situation.
For this question, she rambles about how her stamina is better than 2019 and how she stands more instead of sitting.
So now that it's been, what, 4 years since then? That person in 2019, she doesn't exist. Like, the mentality I had, who I was on YouTube, she doesn't exist anymore. Just the incapability of just living as a human. Because here I am living on my own where I need zero help.
Mom still drives her everywhere she needs to go, and the only actual home-cooked meals we've seen since she moved have been Mama Lynn's cooking. I wouldn't call that zero help.
Has Feline ghosted you? Okay, so the answer is no, but I really hurt her after we broke up by falling in love with someone else. I hurt her a lot, and I take accountability. I obviously just could not control falling in love with someone else.
No shit, the supposed love of her life that she's been with for over a year is going to be hurt when she talks to a person for 2 days and falls in love with them. That probably made Feline feel so worthless. The fact that Amber could talk to a person for 2 days and instantly just be done with Feline. And I hate how Amber acts like she had no control over that. The conversation gets flirty, tell them you aren't interested. Boom. And if you are interested, even though you know you're about to really hurt someone you care about, that's still your fault.
I very much fell in love. I did. And it just was really hard for her, and it became hard for me, and it became a very big mess. And it just really went to show like how much she did love me, and I felt horrible, and I tried to fix it, but I kept failing at fixing it, and it made it to where she doesn't even want to continue being my friend. So I went through like a whole separate heartbreak in private. Like, I just feel like I'm reliving the heartbreak just a million times over. We were cordial for a bit after she left. We would text. Then, like, almost daily I would text her, like, I love you, I miss you, because I just felt like I needed her to know. And I needed her to know that I was sorry that I hurt her.
Oh, poor Amber. Wanted to try to string 2 people along, and when one of them finally gives up on dealing with her bullshit, Amber gets to be the one that's hurt, as if she didn't set herself up for it.
I talked it over with a friend, and they said, I think it's time that you just, like, respect her and stop contacting her, and it's been really hard. This is gonna sound dumb to some people, but I am on day 5 of not contacting her. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, that's so unhealthy. Trust me, I get it. I have mental illness. We are not in contact, and I'm going to be respecting her wishes, even if it's really freaking hard. Like, it's been so hard.
She just has no consideration for others. All that matters is how she's doing. I'm glad she's finally stopped bothering Feline, but it's so weird to count days like that, like it's a goal and an achievement to have some basic respect and dignity so that you don't make someone uncomfortable. And the way she pulls the mental illness card. It's almost like she wants to have mental illness so that she can excuse her actions. Proof of that claim. She refuses to use the medicine that doctors and professionals prescribe to her, and she also doesn't go to therapy regularly, which is probably recommended for her.
Like, I have wanted to call her, I've wanted to text her in just these last 5 days, and it's like, I can't. And it's just been a whole other level of torture because I miss her so much. And I just think out of respect for her and for myself and for our relationship, I don't want to talk about her. And I know a lot of people think that, like, I'm gonna come on here and say bad things about her. Not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen.
Well, no shit, because she wasn't the one doing things to you, you were the one doing things to her. Amber has nothing to talk shit about because even if she did, the dirt Feline has on her is probably 10 times worse.
Do you think it's wise to be drinking all the time with all the medications you are on? I actually am not on any medications at all. I can't tell you the last time I took a medication. It's been months, but I actually am taking a break on the whole drinking thing because I felt like I was turning to it.
She said she stopped taking medicine because she doesn't need it and thinks she can be healthier without it, and she's replaced it with drinking instead. Such a healthy choice.
Have you found a new therapist? I actually have not. So this is actually a good question to kind of lead into something else. A little bit of a backstory is, as you guys remember, I had to do 12 sessions of therapy.
To sum this answer up, no. She did go see a specialized psychologist though, and she tells us for what. And her therapist gave her the diagnosis.
I was actually diagnosed on my 19th session with my psychologist with borderline personality disorder. I had a hard time accepting that and still have a hard time accepting that because it's obvious that I have borderline personality disorder, and it's something that, like, I always purposely pushed away. I don't know what it is. I think it's because with everything else, you know, like anxiety, okay? Take some medicine, try some Zoloft, see if that helps. Bipolar, take some mood stabilizer, see if that helps, you know, but with borderline personality disorder, there isn't really a medicine for that. you have to work. And it's just like, this diagnosis explains literally probably 95% of the reason why I am the way that I am. And I don't know if I want to like talk about it anymore, because again, it's hard for me to accept.
Yeah, let's just ignore it like everything else. I'm sure that'll help. Also, this diagnosis is not surprising. She has a different personality in every setting so that she can better manipulate people.
And now it's just something else that I have to put in work. And it's just, maybe I feel like it's a bit unfair. I have to remind myself life isn't fair. People are dealt their cards, and it's kind of like how you play them. That's like the motto that I need to live by currently. It's like, okay, my cards were dealt. Now let's play them, in a way that's just gonna make your life more positive.
We can see how she's been playing those cards so far. She answers more questions, stuff we've heard before. Next video. She talks about not wanting to vlog, talking about washing clothes, but her dryer's broken.
I literally am heartbroken ×2. And it's not something that I want to like talk about, but it's so heavy on my chest that it's just like, it's there. I am heartbroken ×2 because, my recent ex that you guys know, and then the girl I was talking to, and I told you guys about her, how I fell in love, Like, I'm heartbroken over both of these things, and it's just been very hard and very heavy.
Again, don't know what she expected from any of that. She couldn't accept the breakup, so she went and made it worse ×2 for her, Feline, and a random girl that was dragged into it.
But like, when me and my recent ex first broke up, like every day I would come on here and like cry to you guys and talk about it and give you these play-by-play updates. That's just not what I want for this.
She ate food and drank. Very entertaining, I know. She went to the laundromat.
So a lot of you say that like, I'm looking for a caretaker. And for a minute there, I was just like accepting it because you guys know I do not drive. But obviously I am thinking about getting my license. That is something I'm thinking about. And I get a lot of crap for the fact that I don't drive. But I just found out that y'all's favorite reaction channel doesn't drive. And Tana Mongo, whatever her last name is, she also doesn't drive. It's just like, there's a lot of other, obviously probably people on YouTube who don't drive. And no one says like, oh, you need a caretaker. So I have put 2 and 2 together, and I've realized that people say that to me because of my weight. And I'm feeling sad about it. I just don't think it's okay.
What? She didn't know this? I hope she also realizes that that isn't the only reason.
I literally live on my own. I do everything by myself. I don't need nobody. But yes, I don't drive. And come to find out, a lot of people don't. So are we gonna look at the reaction channel and say, oh, you need a caretaker because you don't drive? It's such a weird concept to me that like, it's okay to say that to me because of my weight. I wasn't gonna say anything, but it's just like, I need to like stick up for myself. I need to stand up for myself just a little bit more. I'm just not doing enough of that. I think it's really important that people stand up for themselves. I'm trying my best.
Okay, but the difference is, most of those people are actually healthily taking care of themselves and probably have friends around that they don't treat like garbage that are willing to take them places. That or they pay a driver. They don't need a caretaker because they aren't constantly complaining about how lonely they are. Amber says, I don't need nobody, but has days worth of content crying about how she's lonely. She went with Mama Lynn to get more food and gives us a haul.
This is like a moment where I literally told myself that I was not going to do this. I was not going to do this. But like, the truth is, as the time goes on and I am losing more and more of like the 2 people that I love, the more I lose them and the more time goes, like I just feel so broken. All of my thoughts, all of them, and all of my feelings are just like heightened and just there for me to listen to and for me to feel. And I just don't like it. It is literally torture. I feel like I'm being tortured because it's like, is that type of like loneliness and that type of pain where it's like a lump in your throat and your chest is super heavy and you just like feel like you're gonna spiral.
I don't doubt that she is having these feelings, but just remember that she got herself here. And she caused just as much pain to 2 other people as what she's feeling right now. Also, it's kind of weird how she's just as sad about her week-long fling online as she is about her 2-year physical relationship with Feline. I might skip through some of this boohoo poor me stuff.
Like, I'm just like really low and I don't know how to handle it because it's like, I want to film, I want to do my job, but it's like, how can I do it when I can barely like focus on like anything? I just am having a hard time separating job from my real life because it just doesn't make sense because my job is my life.
Ever heard of a thing called therapy where they can help you work through all of this?
And I've like stupidly, I've thought of like, why don't I just go back to like filming mukbangs? And it's like, that's not who I am anymore. It would be ultimately the easiest choice I could make is just eat for you guys and just eat on camera. It would help my bank account, it would help my views, it would help engagement, it would help take my mind off of everything, but it's like, that's not who I am anymore. And it's like, I can't take the easier way out. I can't do that. I can't do that to myself.
She could film herself doing so many other things, she's just too lazy to. Go get a gym membership. Show us your workout routine.
And like, ultimately, I don't want to do that to you guys. I don't want to do that to the people who have continuously supported me and they've seen growth in me. I can't do that and I won't do that. But it's like, I do have that nagging thought in my brain of like, well, just do that then.
I mean, we've definitely seen growth in her, but I don't think that's the kind we're supposed to see. Has she changed at all? Do any of you see a change in her? Skipping some of this, then she just stands there eating Cool Whip with a knife, talking about her crying session.
I could take it out of this video, but honestly, I'm done wearing a mask. I'm done. Go through portions of the day where I'm really happy and portions of the day where I'm really low. And if I plan on continuing to grow as a person, a YouTuber, and grow more connected to you guys, then I have to be honest with where my head's at.
Wow, she is so brave. This is so raw, you guys. Fuck. Next video. She rambles and shows us a snack she eats. I've just realized this sounds like a nature documentary.
And now we see an Amberlynn Reid in her natural habitat, fighting for survival.
Okay, she went gambling again, and she wants to tell us it isn't addicting to her. She also went in her most recent video that I'm not covering yet. She tells us about church and how she had a crush on one of the women singers. Surprise, surprise.
So at church today, there was a new singer there, and I like fell in love with her at instant glance. I was just like, oh my God, I could not stop looking at her while she was singing. I was like, okay, perfection.
She shows herself organizing for no reason, shows herself doing chores and cooking and eating, talks about people reaching out and being supportive about her borderline personality disorder that she is currently ignoring and not getting help for.
You guys have reached out to me and you have been so kind and supportive, and I just appreciate it so much, like beyond belief. This isn't really something that I want to go into detail about, but a lot of people are asking, how did you hurt your ex by falling in love with someone else? Like, you guys weren't together. I do also want to just make a little bit clear that I did hurt her because my ex wanted to possibly try to get back together. She wanted us to work on ourselves and possibly get back together one day. And normally that would have been something I would have jumped at like this. But when I fell in love, I continuously chose this other person over her, and I was hurting her like really bad.
So it's worse than I thought. Good to know. Amber was actively trying to make Feline feel guilty for the breakup.
A lot went down. A lot of things happened, but at the time I thought I was choosing my happiness. And, you know, in my head I was like, I'm single, we're broken up for a reason. I remember telling my ex, like, why don't we try poly? That's never anything I would have ever suggested in the past. But she didn't even want to do that.
Why does Amber say it like Feline is in the wrong for setting a boundary for not wanting to do poly? She wouldn't even do that. Really? Sorry, girl, but people's lives don't have to revolve around you and the impulsive, unpredictable decisions you make on a daily basis. I can't believe she basically just expected Feline to back down and just agree. That's so disrespectful. And the way she talks about it is disrespectful to Feline's boundaries, too.
And it's like, my ex loved me so much, and she really wanted to try to make it work, but I was repeatedly choosing another person over her, and that is the reason why that she does not want to speak to me anymore. And I just feel so bad for hurting her. I was just in a really confused spot, and I thought I was doing the right thing initially in the end. You guys are only hearing like 5% of the story out of 100%, because again, there are other parties, and just out of respect, I'm just not going to do that to them.
Yeah, out of respect. She's been so respectful so far. Talks about maintenance coming.
And yes, I did sleep in my makeup. I've been doing that my whole life. Why are we going to complain and try to change now? That's really the least of my problems.
It's still an unhygienic problem regardless of how small she thinks it is. It takes her 30 seconds to use a makeup wipe and get that off. That's the end of the video, and I think that's the end of my catch-up. To sum it up, she's gone out a couple times with family, she's not trying to lose weight, she's as narcissistic as ever, and she's sad. Let me know if you enjoy a catch-up video like this. It's really convenient for me just because of how far I've fallen behind on videos while focusing on school. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you. Also, I now have a Discord server set up for this channel if you would like to come chat or hang out. Leave me a comment below. I respond to all of you. I hope you have a great day. Bye!